Test. 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 Yeah, I know. I checked this yesterday itself. No, I don't know why this is.
Make it Jeff or
Test. Test.
Is it she can't hear us or she can't talk?
She can't hear us. Test.
She can hear you?
Last time we put it on here and it
Yeah,
worked.
but how does their voice get into this microphone so they can hear?
Sorry, how does?
If they talk, the people on Zoom can't hear them.
Yeah, I tried that and we can't hear.
Yeah, it's coming right down this way too. It's like, folks, we're trying to get one more board member joining virtually, so just bear with us for just a couple minutes. Thanks.
Okay. Hello, can you hear us, Liz?
Okay.
Last time we muted it, but that's fine.
Okay. We'll mute
Okay,
it and do what you
start.
think's necessary.
Okay. You can hear us, right, Liz?
Turn the camera on.
Can you hear us? Yes, we can.
That's you. Thanks for your patience. I now call to order the Coatesville Area School Board meeting scheduled for February 25th, 2025. Reading of the mission statement. The mission of the Coatesville Area School District, rich in diversity and committed to excellence, is to create innovative educational experiences which are funded by the taxpayers, supported by the community, delivered by dedicated teachers and administrators to ensure all students will become responsible, contributing global citizens. Advisement, by notice of the Vice President who is presiding over tonight's meeting, board members are advised that all votes shall be regarded as roll call votes. The minutes should also note that public notice was given for this meeting in accordance with Act 93 of 1988, Section 1. This meeting shall proceed in accordance with school board policy. Madam Secretary, please call for the roll.
Lear Nyako,
She's excused.
Steve Wilson,
Present.
Holly Charest. Here. Shauna Maxwell,
Here.
Liz Muirhead. Here. Donna Rowland,
Here.
Robin Seagreaves,
Here.
Beth Brindle,
Here.
Elgin Bailey,
She's excused.
Emma Shrivert.
Here.
This moment, I would like to ask everyone to stand for a moment of silence and salute to the flag. additions, deletions, or modifications to the agenda? To my colleagues, are there any additions, deletions, or modifications to this evening's agenda? Seeing none, we'll move on to public comment. The board has requested all persons making comments on agenda items to please list their name, address, telephone number, and motion items on the sheet provided. There's a 3-minute limit per person. The board does not take action or discuss items not appearing on the agenda. The board values public comments and wishes to convey that although board members cannot discuss items that are not on the agenda, they listen carefully and value input from the public. We have Ms. Lori Shannon-Bailey.
Good evening. I just wanted to comment on something I said at the last meeting, the financial
Ms. Bailey,
statements.
do you mind, you didn't note on here the agenda item. Could you-
Financial statements?
Okay, thank you.
Yep, thank you. I believe it's page 8 and page 15, the Lincoln Center Academy, noting the amount, $164,600 on page 8 and $149,000 on page 15. So the public would be interested in knowing what other professional services are. I see that there's tuition other. I understand that the Lincoln Center Academy is an alternative school, so wanting to know the definition of other. Also, throughout the financial statements is the charter school tuition, Insight PA Charter School, $30,802, PA Cyber Charter School, $47,000, PA Distance Learning, $6,909, and PA Charter Leadership School, $116,597. As I've mentioned before, we anticipate you all raising our taxes probably pretty stiffly due to the new elementary school being building. Again, we'd like to know what your plan is to return our children back to the district. Looking forward to saving a lot of money, and of course having those funds back to our district. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to special reports. First, we have student recognitions, followed by Kings Highway presentation.
I'm going to invite Mr. Brian Chenger up to the microphone. This evening, we're going to be recognizing our Chestmont recognitions for fall athletes.
Good evening, Board of School Directors and Dr. Barczyk. Standing in here for Miss Lisa Luciani tonight as she is preparing for a big event back at school with our boys basketball team participating in the PIAA District 1 semifinal this evening. So I'll be standing in for her. Hopefully that's okay with everyone. I know she had some slides here, but I think I can go through this without the actual slides. And I know a number of our students are probably at school right now getting ready to watch our boys basketball team. So I thank for the families that are here this evening. I will like to recognize everyone if they're here or not. And Dr. Barczyk, the names are on a label on the front of there. So students, as you are called up, I just ask that you please receive your certificate and then shake Mr. Wilson's hand. I guess you're going to work your way all the way through the board members, and then you have just stand along the side there until everyone has been called.
That way we can get a group picture at the end.
Perfect. Yep. And again, I know a lot of them are not with us tonight, but okay. So it's a pleasure for me to be here this evening to recognize our fall sports athletes for their achievements, which has gained them honors provided by our Chestmont League coaches. Again, Ms. Luciani would be here, but many of you are aware our boys basketball team is playing in the PIAA District 1 semifinal game this evening, so she is currently preparing for that game. According to niche.com, our school district is most recently ranked 12th in the state of Pennsylvania and number 307, that's 307 in the country out of nearly 10,000 school districts. I say that because it is a testament to the support that our Board of School Directors and Central Administrators have provided to our coaches and our teams, but I also say that because of the student athletes and the families that are seated with me here this evening, because it is a representation, dedication that they have demonstrated as well as their coaches. These students, in addition to being recognized for their performance and skill, should also be commended for the skills in which they're obtaining through their involvement in athletics, which will translate into various parts of their lives for years to come, many years beyond that of their high school experience. That being said, at this time, I'd like to recognize each student by their sport as well as their honor received. So students, again, please come forward to be recognized when your name is called. I'm going to present this alphabetically by sport and then by the student last name. All right, I ask that you please hold out your applause until all students have been recognized. So we'll start with field hockey, and I don't see any of our field hockey players here this evening, but I will go through it. Emily Bidenkamp was honorable mention. Avery O'Hara was honorable mention. Carly Strickland was second team All-League, and I will say our Coatesville team, they received the honor of the Sportsmanship Award for the entire league. So that was our field hockey honorees. Good, Dr. Barczyk? Have you? All right. All right. All right. Football. And again, I do not see any of our football players here, but I'm going to recognize them. Matisse Klauser was honorable mention defense. Zayden Green, honorable mention defense. Elias Hansen was first team defense. Max Hiller was first team offense, and also the offensive MVP for the league. Tristan Jackson was first team offense. Nasir Jordan, first team offense. Anthony Kelly, honorable mention defense. Takia Lynch, first team defense. Tommy McAnally, first team offense. Matthew Buggy Ortega, honorable mention offense. Colin Schaefer was honorable mention punter. Josh Van Orden, first team defense. Terry Wiggins, first team defense. So that was our football honorees. Golf. Colton Hiller was second team. Carson Holmes, who is with us this evening, first team All-League. Braden Jackett, second team All-League. Anna Parker, honorable mention. And Landon Rodzinski, honorable mention. All right, moving on to soccer. We'll go with boys soccer first. Charles Adrobo, second team. Isaac Jones, honorable mention. Andrew Rivera Winans Jr., honorable mention. And Rylan Smith, honorable mention. Girls soccer, I know we have a few here. Danica Aronson, honorable mention. Natalie Caridi, honorable mention. Natalia Hansen, first team All-Chesmont. Cam Morley, honorable mention. Eva Weldon, second team All-League. And lastly this evening, I would like to recognize our volleyball honorees. Sage Bennett, honorable mention. Gabby Bookard, honorable mention. And Michaela Figueroa, honorable mention. Sure, and again, I just want to, again, extend my gratitude for the board for your support within our athletic program because, again, the young people that stand before you here, again, are obtaining skills that they otherwise may not get, other than participating and putting forth a lot of time and dedication, that they'll be able to apply these skills not just on the playing surface, but also take beyond their years in high school with them. So thank you. And again, sorry we couldn't get everyone here, but it's always a tough time when students are so involved in participating. So thank you again.
This time we'll have the Kings Highway presentation. While they're coming up, can we give just one more round of applause for the students?
Let's restart it again, I guess. Okay. Beginning. There you go.
You guys are ready. All right. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for having us tonight. My name is Bobby Graham. I'm the proud new principal at Kings Highway Elementary, and I want to first off just say, again, thank you for this amazing opportunity to join these students in this great school as a new leader coming in this year. My goal tonight for our presentation is just give you a little snapshot onto what's been going on at Kings Highway, and I have a couple slides, and I have some guests of honors back here that are going to round up the end for me. So jumping into the 2025 school year, I was coming from a fresh start. I was really eager and excited to get going. One of the things I heard about early on was our switch to iPads. For myself as an educator, technology and education in the hands of our students is super, super empowering, and it's something that I really want to focus on seeing implemented throughout my building. When the Apple team interviewed the elementary principals and said, what are you looking for in this implementation? I spoke with the Apple deployment team and I said, I really want to see these be tools that students turn to when they know they can use them versus just devices that they use when their teacher says to. And I have two great examples right now on the screen for you. The first one is a first grade classroom from Mr. Jinsky's class. I stopped by this classroom days after iPads hit students' hands, and they were already engaged in a very heated Kahoot battle for a review lesson towards the end of the day. So these are our youngest learners in first grade. They're engaged. They all had their setup. They knew exactly what they were doing and had joined that Kahoot game to kind of get going and play some review fun. The picture closer to me is a little bit more in depth. This is fourth grade. It's actually Ms. Bentley's class who's with me as well. Fourth graders who in Ms. Bentley's classroom are utilizing their iPads as digital whiteboards, right? So it's not just the apps, it's not just the access that they're connecting students with, it's not just the internet. These are native tools that are on the devices that students are learning and experiencing with of how they can use to benefit their curriculum. And this day in particular, photoed here, is one of our Envision training days. So this is a new curriculum that's coming to the elementary level, and teachers are still being trained on it. Teachers are learning together, and students are learning together, and our fourth graders met that challenge with their new devices. They use their freeform app to do whiteboards, and they can scroll and draw pictures and illustrate their math equations. So that is something I'm super proud of my staff. They opened their classrooms very quickly to accept those iPads and are all eagerly implementing them throughout the building. Moving on from iPads, I wanted to highlight our amazing PBIS team, or Positive Behavior Interventions and Supports. The PBIS team at Kings Highway has a lot of energy. Miss Lisa Swisher is a first grade teacher at Kings Highway. She's our PBIS lead. She leads this with power. We have multiple things going on here in our school. We have some star charts. That chart up there that you see is from Miss Crane's class. It's full of stars, and what that is opportunities that the whole class has been recognized for excellence or showing their pride, as we saw at Kings Highway. Staff award a class a star for great behavior in the hallway, working extra hard at specials, or really knocking it out of the park in a lesson when I stop by to check in. The golden stars on the chart are from our related arts programming. So it's school-wide that students are being recognized for doing what they need to do and going above and beyond. In the center here, you see our Leo cart. What you can't see is there's like a lion, like a head on the front, and like, the other end on the back. It drives around our school on a schedule to facilitate some PBIS trade-in for students. We use PAWS, little paper token-based tickets that students get rewarded for when we catch them doing great. And they, on the cart, there's fun things like fun school supplies, erasers and notebooks, things like that. But one thing that I wanted to see more of, and we've been increasing every day, we just came up with a new opportunity last week, was increasing experience-based trade-in, where students can be seen engaging in these rewards and engaging in these fun times. So some things that we changed this year that were not in the past is I tweaked our schedule a little bit to implement some reward time with our related arts teachers. So students can trade in for just a little bit extra time in art or PE or music or STEM to just really get that fun experience in a class that they're already connected with. We also have a special, there's like a golden table in the cafeteria that one student can trade in some tickets and bring themselves and 2 friends to eat at the special table that the staff decorate, all fun. So that's something we just started, and it's a way that the greater student population, like grade 5, can see other students earning those rewards and being looked at as role models. So we have students leading students through the PBIS initiative. And I couldn't forget about the staff. The PBIS team wanted to reward the staff as well. So this picture closest to me is myself and some teachers in those long weeks before winter break when it's the 15th Thursday of the week and it is very tiring. I took some time out of my day, supported by the PBIS team, to kind of treat the teachers as well, and popped in the classrooms and gave them a little winter treat. We have another round of that planned for the spring as well. Continuing PBIS for some whole grade level initiatives, we have our Shining Stars. This is a very vibrant program that I walked into at Kings Highway, and they've done nothing but make improvements with it. With a Shining Star Assembly, we bring grades K1 and 2 or 3, 4, and 5 together, and teachers recognize their students for what they are achieving or the hard work they're putting in. Each teacher will recognize a student and call their name in front of the whole group and read why they're being recognized. And they range from anything, from being a team player, from achieving a personal goal, from going above and beyond in their own academic or work within the school community. Again, getting students recognized in front of students to show that positiveness. The bulletin board here is in our main hallway that anybody that comes into my building can see and recognize who was recognized at the last Shining Star Assembly, and these occur monthly. Every month we recognize a new group of students. Teachers are welcome to recognize as many students as they feel that month that really stepped up and earned that reward. Taking a step away from student direct activities, I have a little bit of more of a systems related thing. Our MTSS, or multi-tiered systems of support, was there when I walked in, and I kind of just noticed there was a little bit of challenges for my teachers to really kind of say what they needed. So one of the first things we worked on was really streamlining those processes and creating regular cadence for teachers to communicate with support staff and kind of discuss what they're seeing. My team meets monthly with grade levels, so we meet with teachers to talk about what's going on, what are some needs that you have, how can we support you in the classroom, because you, the teachers, are the ones, you're doing the work, right? We are here, support staff, myself included, to support you and what you're working with. We talk about academic needs, some support needs, and other things like that. Going on, we have different levels of academic grouping and also socio-emotional grouping to kind of respond to the needs of our students. Coming up, we've had some students go through a little bit of a rough time, and we have some support planned to come up in a rotation for those students as well. And then touching on the Coatesville School District initiative of Belonging Through Dignity, I'm very proud of the work my team has started. These individuals came to me early on in my time with Coatesville, and when I announced that we needed to get this work going, we're going to focus on this. And Samantha Kress is a 5th grade teacher at Kings Highway. Alicia Johnson is an autistic support teacher at Kings Highway. Teresa Mitchell is a school counselor, and myself make up that core team. And what this core team is doing is every half day from September up until January, we are in this room working with the Belonging Through Dignity team to really dig down into what we're doing as a culture in the building, right? And how we can make sure that everybody feels included, they have a voice, their opinion matters. As with that team, we've attended trainings. We've met with the consultants 2 times this year to review our workings and how it's going in the building. The team has surveyed and collected staff data. We've analyzed as a team, partnered with the consultants to really dig down, and then from that we developed some focus questions. And with those focus questions, Ms. Kress and Ms. Johnson held empathy interviews where my staff were able to sign up to kind of really dig deep into this data and talk about their experiences. And for me, coming in as a new leader, I went all in on this. I said, if you need flexible time, we'll make it happen. I'll support in any way I can, because getting connected to the people and the individuals that make my building function is severely important to me in this role, and especially in this time, right? So giving them this platform and taking the time to hear and listen is something that we've been working really hard with. The data that came from the interviews on this next slide, these are some words that were commonly used when the teachers were taking notes. The team put them into a word cloud so we can kind of see. Larger, bolder words were used more often in the interviews, and we used this slide almost exactly was just shared with my staff in the last meeting to talk about what they're saying about each other and their involvement at Kings Highway, and it also brought us to some next steps. We're looking for more ways to feel connected in our building, so we're working on getting a staff walking club up in the morning. We have awesome resources, big lot at Kings Highway. We also have the couple parks nearby to kind of do that. So Ms. Kress took it upon herself to really lead this initiative and the work with the team, and she volunteered to step up and plan to make sure action steps are picking up new leaders responsible for them, so it's not just falling on these 4, and there's some follow through throughout the school year into next year. Last one for me. All right, coming up, I'm working with my reading specialist, Ms. Shonday, and our Title I committee of parents and teachers to get parents connected with curriculum, right? That's what our goal is, to make sure that they can have the opportunity to understand and really engage with the curriculum that their students work with. One of the biggest things I heard from parents when I met with them early on, I met with them early in September and December again, is questions. There's kind of that I don't want to hurt. I don't know how you teach this, right? I'm not, the new math, this, that, and the other. And I've worked with my Title I parents on the committee and said, any exposure is good exposure here. But taking their feedback of like wanting to know how we do things in the classroom, we have a couple things planned. The culmination of our readathon week will be a family curriculum and game night where I have teachers from each grade level volunteering to just offer that Q&A session, a very informal session where parents can just say, this is what I'm struggling with at home. How can I help? What are some things you do in the classroom? Because the more we keep that vocabulary aligned and those techniques aligned, the stronger that message of what we do in the classroom and at home can partnership together. We're celebrating this whole event with a Read Across America week from the 3rd to the 12th. We'll have an assembly for students with the mass reader, where students are going to guess which staff member is dressed up in a fun costume based on their genre of books that they like to read. So that's some stuff from my end that's going on. I'm going to turn over to my very special guests here. I have Charlotte and Alicia here from the Kings Highway Student Council, who've been working on a special project that came from student need. And I'm going to turn it over to them.
Hello, and thank you for having us. I'm Charlotte.
And I'm Alicia.
We are from Kings Highway Student Council, and we are here to talk about our special project, refreshing the blacktop recess space. When the playground and grass are off limits, we have blacktop only.
As a student council member, when we hear what can we do, it's boring. Kickball is the only game. We knew we had to do something. So student council stepped in to change the narrative. The solution, refreshing the blacktop. We took the challenge with our team to approach. Now Charlotte's going to tell you a little bit more about it.
Our process, we discussed our needs as a solutions, and student council reviewed the progress from our classmates. Some ideas that we came up with were Bullseye, Mirror Me, which is like Simon Says, Foursquare, repainting the map and labeling it, and Floor is Lava, a game where students try to get across without stepping on the hot lava. Can you make it through without falling in?
We used chalk to lay out different game ideas. We labeled the map and planned out for a repaint. The floor is lava. We use different colors to test out the obstacle course where students will try to get through without stepping in the lava. Our next steps are to finalize our design as student council, meet with Mr. Graham for approval, and present to PTO for partnership. We are looking forward to having positive impact on our school. Thank you for having us.
All right. Great job. Alicia and Charlotte are both in the 5th grade at Kings Highway. And they've done, along with Ms. Bentley, who is the student council advisor and 4th grade teacher, done an amazing job this year, just making that student voice heard. It was something I wanted to make sure was in my school when I was coming in, and Ms. Bentley came to me. She's like, we're doing this, this, and this. The kids have an agenda. So they keep me pretty busy as student council at Kings Highway. So thank you all for having us tonight.
Thank you. Charlotte and Alicia, my favorite is the lava. When I was your age, that was my absolute favorite game. Thanks so much. I'll have to come over and play. Thanks again for presenting, all of you. Moving on to approval of minutes. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve minutes for the January 28th, 2025 board meeting, subject to any additions, deletions, or modifications or clarifications. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Any questions, comments, for discussion? Okay, Madam Secretary, please call for the vote.
Beth Brindle,
Yes.
Liz Muirhead,
Yes.
Robin Seagreaves,
Yes.
Shauna Maxwell,
Yes.
Holly Sharess,
Yes.
Steve Wilson,
Yes.
Donna Rowland.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Okay. Executive session announcements?
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. The board met in executive session on February 10th and February 24th, 2025, to discuss confidential legal matters that are protected by the attorney-client privilege, as well as confidential personnel matters, confidential matters related to students, and one matter of litigation docketed in the Court of Common Pleas at 2024-09524-CT. And that concludes the executive session report.
Thank you. Moving over to student representative report. Emma, the floor is yours.
Good evening, Board of School Directors. As we head into our, third semester, course selection for the 2025 and 2026 school year opened up on Tuesday, February 18th, and the deadline has now been extended through Thursday, February 25th. All current students in grades 8th through 11 must use their student home access account to enter course requests. Next, this past month, 33 students and 7 chaperones from Coatesville area senior high school, including myself, recently had the opportunity to travel to Florence and Rome from February 13th to the 20th as a part of Mr. Tassoni's AP Comparative Government and Politics course. In Florence, we explored Renaissance masterpieces including Michelangelo's David and Botticelli's The Birth of Venus, and participated in an Italian cooking class. We also visited Assisi and the Basilica of St. Francis. In Rome, we toured the Vatican, St. Peter's Basilica, and the Sistine Chapel, the catacombs, the Roman Forum, and the Colosseum. A highlight of the trip was an interactive gladiator training school. It was a fantastic trip and was an incredible experience as a whole. On Thursday, February 13th, 2025, several 12th grade students traveled to Upper Marion High School for the engaging, informative Don't Fight Back, Fight Forward High School Leadership Conference sponsored by the University of Pennsylvania Graduate School of Education and the enthusiastic company Cool Speak. Cash students in attendance along with Miss Nicole Jordan and Miss Amy Pasco included Camille Boyd, Josh Davis, Hayden Katzer, Akia Muhammad, Delaney Susi, Olivia Thomas, and Julia Wazonsky. Coatesville representatives joined youth from the tri-state area to hear inspirational speaker and author Carlos Ojeda Jr., fondly known as Chew. The message, "Don't fight back, fight forward," allows us to focus on their goals, not to waste time getting even, to turn negative situations into opportunities for learning and growth, and finally, choosing to respond proactively instead of becoming defensive. All effective strategies for success in high school and life. The application process for local scholarships for seniors begins Monday, March 3rd. Senior students should see Miss Master in the guidance department for applications. Scholarship opportunities will be advertised in the Monday message and on the school website. 4 Cash seniors were offered work experience at Citadel last Friday. Citadel's Vice President of Human Resources, Miss Melanie Culbertson, notified each student with Miss Thompson and Mr. Chenger and provided them with a Citadel welcome bag and offer letter. Congratulations to the following seniors who successfully went through the several meetings and an interview process to eventually be selected for the positions: Cameron Coleman, Layla Hammond, Rashawn Reed, and Nasir Williams. Over 20 Cash students, accompanied by Miss Londi Legree, visited the National Museum of African American History and Culture. This trip was held in honor of Black History Month and provided students with an enriching educational experience. Coatesville Area Senior High School Paint and Patch Drama Club will be performing their show of Beetlejuice Jr. on the 13th and 14th of March at 7 p.m. both nights. We invite you to come and join us for an amazing show. Tickets are $5 each, and refreshments will be sold during intermission. I would also like to wish good luck to all of the winter sports who are still finishing off their seasons, and to our wide amount of spring sports that start in early March. Thank you, and have a great night.
Thanks so much, Emma. Moving on to superintendent's report.
All right. Good evening, everybody. I am proud to present the superintendent's report for this month. And it started off, as we all know, the Eagles won the Super Bowl. For those of you that do not know, this was very hard for me. I am a true Bills fan, so I had to support our troops here, and they did a great job. But we had, if you go to the next slide, Reeseville Elementary School, under the support of Ms. Jacqueline Potage, the 4th grade teacher, and also Sherry Southcott, the secretary. They did an amazing job of pulling together just a pep rally and getting this Eagles video. And Mr. Malt, if you would click Control C, or the control arrow on the Eagles emblem, you will see the video that they produced that actually made it onto, unfortunately, the 11 o'clock news. But can you get it on there? I think we sent it out to the community, but if you can't. Oh, you can hear it. All right, we'll figure it out later. I'm going to just move on. But it did make it onto 11 o'clock news. I was very fortunate. I have a good friend who works in the CBS 3, and I called him last minute. I'm like, can you please put it on? And he was a good friend and got it on to the 11 o'clock. I said, you do realize all my students are sleeping right now, but we recorded it and were able to show them the next day, so we were really excited. On the next slide, we had our robotics tech challenge at Cash. This was over 70 teams participating over 2 days, and Saturday was the Eastern qualifier, and Sunday was the Red Raider qualifier. And as you can see, the teams did really respectively well: 8th place, 18th place, and 27th place overall. So they really had a great time. I know Mr. Chenger was there for Saturday. Is that correct, Mr. Chenger? So, and it was very impressive. They did an awesome job of setting this up. This was the first time hosting, am I correct, Mr. Chenger, for the qualifier, the Eastern? Third year for the Eastern qualifier, and then doing their own Red Raider qualifier. So we're very happy in how they did overall. On the next slide, we have the 100th day of school celebrations. Yes, we are at the 100th plus day of school already. which means things are moving right along. But we had some great opportunity for students to dress up as 100 years old. It's always fun to watch them and see them as they enjoy this day and celebrate by counting and sorting and just dressing up. So our next slide is our cash students attended a leadership conference on February 13th. We had several 12th graders that traveled to Upper Marion High School for this opportunity to engage in the informative Don't Fight Back, Fight Forward High School Leadership Conference, and this was sponsored by the University of Pennsylvania Graduate School of Education. So we had a good representation of cash students in attendance, along with Mrs. Nicole Johnson and Mrs. Amy Pascoe. And there are students outside of the event. Our next slide is our second annual Kindergarten Carnival. We had the event in, I forget the date. It was the beginning of January, end of January. But this has become an annual event now, and we welcomed the incoming students who are going to be part of our kindergarten class for next year to Rainbow Elementary School. And they had a chance to learn about school district the full day kindergarten program, meet with teachers and administrators and other staff. And we also had several community resources attend and set up tables to let parents know what was available to them throughout the community. And we also had the PTO host a table where they sold some of their swag, and they had a basket to a raffle at the end and give away to a lucky winner. So that was a lot of fun. Our next one is our trip that Emma already reported on, so I'm not going to go too far into it, but our cash students who had the opportunity to experience that history, art, and culture while in Italy. So. And then throughout the month of February, we've had the Black History Month celebrations. Sister Mafalda, who I couldn't believe it when she was coming here. I've seen her years ago, back when I was in one of my previous districts, and couldn't believe she was still doing this program. But it is such an amazing program, and the students enjoy it so much. She is the instructor, the founder, the lead dancer, the master drummer of Kumbaba Performers and the African American Caribbean Drum and Dance Troupe. And she came to all 4 of our elementary schools and just to motivate and teach them and share her love for the youth of all ages and preserving an introduction to African American history through rhythm and dance, which I know all the students enjoy. They really enjoy her coming. And she had the Eagles flag for them, so they really got excited. And then just on the next few slides, I have some of the bulletin boards that were created around the district that schools had, for students to interact with and engage, in different parts of the building. So you can see on that first slide, that was Reeseville. The next slide, Rainbow Elementary School. This is at Scott Middle School on the next slide, where they actually put their picture into the bulletin board itself. And then East Fallowfield had celebrations as well. They were celebrating their music classes of Black History Month and learning songs such as Lift Every Voice and Sing and We Shall Overcome. They've also been listening to select music from this year's Super Bowl and talking about performers such as Trombone Shorty, John Battisti, I always say it wrong, apologize, Kendrick Lamar. But the 5th grade students are choosing one of these artists to research, and they're going to share more about these performers to the other students in the school. And then at the intermediate high school, I had the privilege of attending with many 4th and 5th graders of the production of Bye Bye Birdie, and it was just spectacular. It just amazes me every time when I go in and see the kids and just the amount of talent they have. So it was really exciting. They did a great job. And we're looking forward to Beetlejuice Jr. for sure. We also had 6 students from Rainbow Elementary, 5 students who were part of the Chester County Band Fest. Students prepared their music for the last 2 months, came together for one last rehearsal, and then performed a concert Friday evening in Phoenixville with a number of other musicians from across the county. And then we have construction updates. We have Doe Run Elementary, We are working on that slab and foundation and removing that for the final piece to get the land development into place and removing, again, that debris that needs to make way for the new elementary school. The basins have been developed on the property in order to manage stormwater. So we are one step away from getting to laying some foundation there. So getting very excited. At Reeseville Elementary, we had a little hiccup because of those freezing temperatures we had for 2-3 weeks. We were unable to really pour any concrete, so we're finally getting to the point where the ground is thawing out. So they should have been there yesterday. Is that right, Mr. Brazil? They started to mobilize on Monday. So the construction, we had a construction meeting yesterday, and they were talking about how concrete was coming in and the foundations being poured. And Dr. Cole was so concerned about her gazebo, and as you can see, the gazebo was safely moved out of the area and will be able to be preserved to move into another area of the property. North Brandywine addition, we had the footings and the foundation poured, and as you can see, the basement steel is starting to be erected, and you can see the basement deck there in the one picture on the far right. All of our building permits for both Reeseville and North Brandywine are in hand, and we are ready to move forward. And we are on target for August for both of those, the annex to the North Brandywine Middle School and the Reeseville addition to be up and ready for students to move into. So that is my report. So we also, just to note, that March 11th will be our next committee meetings, and then March 25th for our regular school board meeting at 6 o'clock here in the Learning Center. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving on to motion items for approval. Adoption of consent agenda. Committee meeting action items considered routine will be enacted under one motion unless removed for separate action upon board request. The purpose of the consolidated motion is to expedite governing board action on all consent items which are not held for discussion. Items that have been held for discussion by the governing board will be enacted upon at the time the item is discussed. Under Finance Committee, Liz, can you hear me?
I sure can.
I've recommended A, financial statements, O, human resources report, M, petition for school police officer, and N is the same. So A, O, M, and N.
I'd like to also pull B just because of the nature of that item.
I didn't hear what she said.
To pull B as well.
Oh, B, okay,
Just for the
thank you.
nature of
I
the
couldn't,
item. Sorry.
that's all right. Any others?
That's it.
Okay. Under education, B, confidential settlement agreement.
Yes.
Any others? Still good with just B? All right. Under operations, I'd like to remove I, Flynn Wrecking Crew Settlement. Any other for operations? Okay. Policy? No items for policy. All right. Any other items that we'd like to remove in case I move too fast? All right. Okay, with the items now removed from the consent agenda for an individual vote, I'll now call for a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Any further questions, comments, or discussion? Okay. Madam Secretary, please call for the vote.
Shauna Maxwell,
Approved.
Donna Rowland,
Yes.
Steve Wilson,
Yes.
Robin Seagreaves,
Yes.
Beth Brindle,
Yes.
Liz Muirhead,
Yes.
Holly Sharas.
Yes.
Motion approved.
All right, Dr. Muirhead?
Yes.
So, under Finance Committee,
Letter A, that the board of school directors approve the financial statements
bills payables list as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Holly Charess,
Yes?
Robin Seagreaves,
Yes.
Donna Rowland,
Yes.
Liz Muirhead,
Yes.
Steve Wilson,
Yes.
Shawna Maxwell,
Yes.
Beth Brindle.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Moving on to letter B, this reflects the amendment that we have requested, that the Board of School Directors allow Anthony Barczyk, interim superintendent of schools, in collaboration with Lori Diefendorfer, Director of Business Administration, and Jeffrey Purcell, Director of Operations and Facilities, to approve any change orders related to the school district's construction projects that do not exceed $40,000 as presented. This will allow time-sensitive projects to keep moving forward. District administrators will bring these change orders before the board for ratification at their regularly scheduled board meetings as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second?
Any questions or comments on this item? And I just pulled it more because of the nature of the item and also because I had asked for it to be amended from the committee approval. Okay, Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Steve Wilson,
Yes.
Liz Muirhead,
Yes.
Donna Rowland,
Yes.
Shawna Maxwell,
Yes.
Holly Charess,
Yes.
Robin Seagreaves,
Yes.
Beth Brindle.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Moving on to letter M, resolution and petition for school police officer Curtis G. The Board of School Directors approves the resolution as presented and authorizes Landon Burling, PC, to initiate and prosecute a petition under 24 PS 7-778 in the name of the school district seeking the appointment by the Court of Common Pleas of Chester County of Mr. Curtis G. as a school police officer for the school district. Hereby, Mr. G will be authorized to exercise the above described powers and duties and to carry a firearm in the course of his duties as a school police officer, provided the school board authorizes or directs Mr. G to carry a firearm in the course of his duties. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Any questions or comments on this item?
Yeah, could we just,
Seeing none? Okay, sorry, was it?
could we just have a quick update on these two items, M and N?
Regards to.
Just, I know we've had some turnover. Are you able just to give a report on, are these replacing?
No, these are not replacing. So we have had a couple resignations in within the police department, but these are two positions, one that was an approved position prior, correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Hydell, one was from the grant, and then another one was an approved position from prior board action. To replace another individual that had resigned. So these are not in addition to.
Okay, thanks.
These are just the people now that are being approved for the positions, correct? We already
Correct.
approved the positions, these are just the
Correct.
people. Okay.
Yes.
And if I could just clarify, just for my understanding, so this is not approval to hire them, they're hired. This is asking the Court of Common Pleas to authorize them to carry out duties as officers, is what I understand.
Correct. They would be on the HR report, and then this is for their resolution to be a school police officer.
Okay.
Are there any other questions or clarifications needed on letter M? Seeing none, call for the vote.
Steve Wilson,
Yes.
Shawna Maxwell,
Yes.
Donna Rowland,
Yes.
Beth Brindle,
Yes.
Holly Charess,
Yes.
Robin Seagreaves,
Yes.
Liz Muirhead.
Yes.
Motion approved.
And letter N, which is similar to letter M, that the Board of School Directors approves the resolution as presented and authorizes Landon Burling, PC, to initiate and prosecute a petition under 24 PS
do have a question. I don't understand, we provide the school board, or is he authorized to carry a firearm, or what does that mean exactly? It says provided the school board.
Provided the
authorized-
school board authorizes or directs Mr. Higgins to carry a firearm in the course of his duties. So this is giving him that authorization to act as a police officer for the school district and carry a firearm, based on your approval.
Okay. If the school board wants him.
So if I understand it, if you're authorized as a police officer by the Court of Common Pleas, you are allowed to carry a firearm, but our school police officers would only carry firearms if the school board says that they can.
So we haven't
the
said
correct
that.
That's what you're doing here.
Okay, all right.
Sorry, if you answered, it got garbled.
I'm sorry, we just clarified, Dr. Muirhead, that yes, that is the understanding is, this is just a petition that would allow, that basically that allows the school board to give permission to carry the firearm as well.
Okay.
Okay.
So I think maybe the unasked question, unless I couldn't hear it over the video, is, do we typically authorize our police officers to carry firearms?
Yes, our police officers, you do, through this vote.
Are there any other questions from board members? Okay. Seeing none, call for the vote.
We need a motion and a second.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought we already had it in order to have discussion. Did I not?
If you did, I did not get it recorded, so I apologize.
All right.
Motion.
Can I have a motion for letter M?
Motion.
Second.
Thank you. Can we call for the vote then?
Liz Muirhead,
Yes.
Shauna Maxwell,
Yes.
Robin Seagreaves,
Yes.
Beth Brindle,
Yes.
Donna Rowland,
Abstain.
Holly Charess,
Yes.
Steve Wilson.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Moving on to letter O, Human Resources Report. That this Board of School Directors approves the resignations, appointments, new positions, leaves of absence, transfers, changes of status, and corrections as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion?
Second.
Second?
Second.
I believe, looking at this, that I see a Coatesville alum being hired as a new teacher. Am I right about that?
We're unsure, so unless you're sure.
Okay, well, I think so, but, I don't know if it's the same name or something, but, it's exciting to see some new teachers being hired, and I think I recognize a name as a district alum, which, again, I love to see people coming back and working, in the districts that they graduated from, so hopefully I'm right about that, and, at any rate, it's great to see some of these positions being filled. Does anybody else have a comment or observation or question about the human resources report? Okay, seeing none, call for the vote.
Holly Charess,
Yes.
Shauna Maxwell,
Yes.
Steve Wilson,
Yes.
Beth Brindle,
Yes.
Robin Seagreaves,
Yes.
Liz Muirhead,
Yes.
Donna Rowland.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Okay, that concludes the finance committee items.
So there's just one item on Education Committee to pull, and that's, we can't discuss the item, it's letter B, but I wanted to give opportunity for an individual roll call. It is for the recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the confidential release and settlement agreement for student ID 10018-753. Do I have a motion?
Motion?
Is there a second?
Second.
Can you call for vote, please?
Beth Brindle,
Yes.
Holly Charess,
Yes.
Robin Seagreaves,
Yes.
Shauna Maxwell,
Yes.
Donna Rowland, Steve Wilson,
Yes.
Liz Muirhead.
Yes.
Motion approved.
That concludes the education portion.
Did you want me to also do operations, or were you going to do that? Since
She
I'm
can.
Director Maxwell will do operations. She's excited to do it, so.
Okay, for the Operations Committee, letter A, Environmental Control Systems, Inc., asbestos abatement. Oh,
Just
I'm
letter
sorry, excuse me, just the one that was pulled, okay. Okay, correction, I'm sorry. Letter I, Flynn Wrecking Settlement Agreement. The Board of Directors approves the settlement agreement related to South Brandywine Demo Project between Flynn Wrecking, Inc. and the Coatesville Area School District, and pay the contractor a total cost of $99,009 as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Call for the vote.
Donna Rowland,
Yes.
Beth Brindle,
Yes.
Steve Wilson,
Yes.
Liz Muirhead,
yes.
Shauna Maxwell,
Yes.
Holly Charess,
Yes.
Robin Seagreaves.
Yes.
Motion approved.
And none for under policy. Okay. Moving on to public comment. There's no public comments. All right. Informational items. Dr. Charest, is there a legislative update?
Yes, yes, there is. Thank you. All right, good evening, everybody. I just wanted to give a quick legislative update since we are now in the new legislative year, I believe for 25-26. So current status of the Pennsylvania General Assembly, the Senate is got 28 Republicans, 22 Democrats serving. Kim Ward from Western PA, District 39, is now, has been appointed President pro tempore. In the House of Representatives, we have 101 Democrats and 101 Republicans. There is currently one vacancy, which is Representative Gergely, who represents Allegheny. The current Speaker of the House is continuing to be at this time Representative Joanna McClinton from District 199, which is in the Philadelphia, Delaware County area. For our education committees, the House Majority Chair has been assigned to Pete Schweier from Lehigh. The Minority Chair is Brian Cutler from Lancaster. I want to give my congratulations to Representative Danielle Friel-Otten from Chester County, who has been appointed to the Education Committee. So congratulations, Representative Otten. Session days last month were January 7th, 27th, 28th, and 29th. And they were also February 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Unfortunately, at this time, Senate and House Education Committees have not yet scheduled meetings, nor have they scheduled hearings. For administrative action, December 5th, 2024, the Independent Regulatory Review Commission reviewed the final regulation by the Department of Education amending Title 22, Chapter 4 of the Pennsylvania Code. That basically updates standards for career education and work, economics, and family and consumer sciences. It also establishes a standalone standards for personal finance classes. In addition, it shifts the grade level of the elementary science PSSA. I believe it used to be grade 4, it's now being given at grade 5, for science, I should say. requires school entities to post various strategic plans on their publicly accessible websites. Another thing that was administrative action was establishment on December 13th of the Early Learning Investment Commission. The purpose is to secure support for public and private sector investments in early learning, and the focus is to find practices that are sound educationally, economically, and scientifically. As far as legislation is concerned, it's the beginning of the period, so of course everybody and anybody wants to push their bills forward. But I wanted to highlight House Bill 130 going in. It's called the Education Money to Follow the Child. So this is proposing a constitutional adjustment that would directly fund a child's education at whatever school they choose. The funding would follow the child rather than go through the schools. And this this is not a new thing. This has been attempted before. It's basically seen as a different way to approach the school voucher system. So we'll see what happens with that one. And finally, under litigation, we had a litigation regarding Title IX. On January 9th, the United States District Court for Eastern District of Kentucky vacated the United States Department of Education's final rule regarding sex discrimination under Title IX, which includes provisions that sex discrimination can additionally include discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity. Now, if this decision is not appealed, it would restore prior Title IX regulations regarding sex discriminations that were made known by the Trump administration in 2020. However, in the state of Pennsylvania, that decision conflicts with the Pennsylvania Human Relations Act, which prohibits discrimination on the basis of sex in employment, public accommodations, and schools. And according to the Pennsylvania Human Relations Commission regulations, the definition of sex is to include sexual orientation, gender identity, and gender expression. So we will keep an eye on that and see what happens. Our next meeting for the Legislative Council will be tomorrow evening, and then I will provide a report for March's meeting. Thank you.
Do you mind if I just add a comment in regards to the science assessment?
Yes.
It's going to be a field test this year, so there will be no attribution to students in that grade level.
Oh, okay.
As we're switching over to the steel standards, so
Okay.
this is their opportunity to redesign the assessment to fit to the steel standards. So knowing these students have not been taught based on the steel standards, their scores will not count towards a district or to the individual teachers.
Okay, that's very good to know. All right, great. Thank you, Dr. Robarczyk.
Thank you. I believe Director Seagreaves also has a CCIU update for us.
I do. So I did attend, again, as part of the CCIU Board of Directors. We held our monthly meeting on Wednesday, February the 19th at the ECT Technical College High School at Brandywine campus. Just items of summary. We welcomed a new board member from Downingtown as the prior member resigned. So Joyce Halton is now the Downingtown representative on our board. Dr. Lubitsky, Director of Administrative Services, read some budget information, going over the key proposed budgets. And oftentimes they'll come and do a presentation regarding what the economic impact will be for Coatesville. So some good news is they're proposing no increase to the core budget contributions by districts at this time. So, but there'll be some changes in some occupational rate services and some marketplace program prices. They presented the preliminary 2025-26 categorical core and occupational education budget presentations. They did an amazing presentation with their TCHSB HVAC board led by Assistant Principal Tom Molnar. He highlighted the program for the HVAC program, and we had a proud 2023 graduate of Coatesville, female, Kylie Riggins, who completed their program and has been fully employed by her mentor through that program at Brandywine Valley HVAC, and she is a stellar employee, an exemplar, and they love having her. So that was really cool to see a Coatesville female grad knock it out of the park in a trade here, getting her education through the TCHC in Coatesville. So then they also went over Daniel Hawkins, the Assistant Director of HR, just provided some the overview of the CCIU comprehensive plan, and it looks very different from a traditional school's comprehensive plan. And all of these things are available online at their site. We also went over the federally funded programs presentation led by Sam Ewing and Tamara Acuna, and that's because of the ever-changing federal climate regarding will there be or will there not be federal funding for programs moving forward. And while our district, 3 to 4 million isn't nothing, but when it comes to the CCIU programs that are supported, it's upwards of $60 million of programming. So changes in the government, if they do choose to take away some of their programs, some of the key programs they discussed that they're keeping an eye on are migrant education, the Head Start and Early Head Start, 21st Century Community Learning Centers, and the Education Leading to Employment and Career Training Program. These are ones that have been discussed that could possibly face cuts. So they have a lot of monitoring to do and some lobbying to do. But this affects all of our kids, in our districts, because we send a lot of kids through the CCIU. Finance, new and old business reviewed. We did some personnel, which was hiring the new Assistant Executive Director, Dr. Jennifer Murray, who was a superintendent from the Reading School District. So we're happy to have her there at CCIU. And our next board meeting is Wednesday, March 19th, 2025 at 7:30 at the Technical College High School Pickering campus in Phoenixville. And if anyone ever would like to appear, they're also public meetings. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Director Seegreaves. To my colleagues, are there any additional informational items? Okay. I just have one. I would like to extend a warm welcome and encourage both those folks that are here tonight as well as those that are listening in. Coming up on March 12th at 6:30 p.m. at Scott Middle School Auditorium, we're going to have an interim superintendent meet and greet. We're going to have opportunity for Dr. Barczyk to present to the district some of his qualifications, vision, inspiring story, as well as just what he hopes to see. Is that fair to say? Inspiring story. I just made that up on the spot. We'll have a chance to hear from Dr. Barczyk, as well as, equally important, have your questions answered. So an opportunity to submit questions both prior or at the event on the 12th. There'll be cards handed out so you can ask questions that will be moderated and Dr. Barczyk will respond to that evening. So again, it's March 12th. There's cards here at 6:30 p.m., Scott Middle School. Please put it on your calendar. It's 2 weeks from tomorrow night and plan to join us. We'd love to see you there. The board plans to be there as well. So a chance to meet board members in person, but more importantly, an opportunity to have some questions answered. All right? Anything else on information items? Okay. Do I have a motion to adjourn our meeting this evening?
Second.
Okay. This meeting is adjourned.